US intelligence reports are now raising serious questions over Operation Epic Fury, with fresh assessments suggesting the campaign failed to cripple Iran's missile capabilities as claimed.
They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure, but there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. We're going to have a complete victory.
Despite claims that Iran was decimated, secret intelligence assessments now reveal much of Tehran's missile network is already back online and operational. Billions of dollars were reportedly spent during the operation, yet intelligence sources claim only a handful of Iranian missile sites were completely taken offline. Trump's claims that Iran's military was scattered are now facing scrutiny after leaked reports suggested large portions of Iran's launch systems survived the strikes. According to the New York Times, US intelligence reports quietly contradicted Donald Trump's public claims of a decisive victory over Iran. Secret American assessments reportedly revealed that Iran's missile infrastructure remained largely intact despite the intense military campaign. Intelligence findings showed Iran regained operational access to most of its missile bases and underground military facilities. The New York Times reported that Iran restored access to 30 out of 33 missile sites positioned along the Strait of Hormuz. Those missile batteries continue to pose a serious threat to US warships and global oil tankers crossing the critical waterway. American intelligence reportedly assessed that Iran still retained nearly 70% of its mobile missile launchers and stockpiles nationwide. The surviving arsenal reportedly included ballistic missiles capable of regional strikes, along with shorter-range cruise missiles targeting land and sea assets. Analysts further concluded that Iran regained access to nearly 90% of its underground missile storage network after the strikes. The findings directly challenged public claims by Trump and Pete Hegseth that Iran's military capabilities had been decimated. While Trump insisted Iran's missile network had been reduced to a scatter, intelligence assessments painted a far more resilient picture. The reports also exposed a growing dilemma for Washington, with US munitions stockpiles shrinking while Iran's capabilities remained substantial. Officials reportedly warned that if the ceasefire collapses, renewed strikes could rapidly drain already strained American missile inventories. Military commanders earlier chose to seal bunker entrances instead of destroying them fully, aiming to conserve scarce bunker-busting weapons. Experts warned that rebuilding America's stockpile of Tomahawks, Patriots, and advanced cruise missiles could take several years. The US military is reportedly considering renaming its operation against Iran as tensions over possible renewed conflict continue to rise. According to reports, the Pentagon may change the name of Operation Epic Fury to Operation Sledgehammer amid evolving military planning. NBC News revealed the potential name change, citing two US officials familiar with ongoing discussions inside Washington. The reported discussions surrounding the new name highlight how seriously the US government is preparing for the possibility of renewed war. This comes after US Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently declared that Operation Epic Fury had officially concluded. Despite those claims, fears of another major confrontation are rapidly growing as negotiations remain deadlocked and tensions escalate again. Pentagon estimates suggest the Iran war has already cost American taxpayers nearly $30 billion in just a few months. In effect, reports claim nearly $30 billion in US war spending managed to fully disable only 3 major Iranian missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz. The massive cost reportedly includes daily combat operations, emergency deployments, and replacement of damaged American military equipment. Reports also recalled warnings from the German Chancellor to ARD that the United States was facing shortages of critical Tomahawk cruise missiles during the conflict. Amid a public disagreement with the United States over the Iran war, Germany has now commented on what appears to be a slowdown or limitation in American military support and deployments. The German Chancellor has said that the United States will not station Tomahawk cruise missiles in Germany for the time being, according to multiple reports citing his latest remarks. Friedrich Merz also attempted to push back against speculation, denying that the US decision on Tomahawk missiles was in any way linked to his recent criticism of President Donald Trump. Speaking to German public broadcaster ARD on May 3, Merz said the United States is currently facing a shortage of Tomahawk systems, limiting its ability to deploy such weapons abroad. The Americans don't have enough for themselves right now. Objectively speaking, There is virtually no possibility of the US supplying weapon systems of this kind. There are absolutely no compromises and no restriction on the US commitment to nuclear deterrence in the NATO area." Unquote. Moers also addressed the issue in a separate interaction with NDR, where he spoke about the planned withdrawal of US troops from Germany and ongoing discussions around that decision.
"We are trying to work together to solve the problem using the various options available to us. And during my last visit, as well as in our phone calls, I kept telling him that this war is now having a significant impact on us, that we would like to see it brought to an end, and that we are also offering help. We have organized this as well. I helped organize this within the European part of NATO, within the EU."
He would have liked you to offer help right now. Then perhaps he wouldn't be so angry.
But I told him that too. I told him, "If you want us to help you in such a conflict, then give us a call beforehand and ask us." In that respect, it is a difficult situation. I hope that we can find a way out of this situation. In any case, I stand by my fundamental conviction that the transatlantic relationship is of great value to us all. I have to accept that the American president holds a different view on these issues than we do. But that does not alter the fact that I remain convinced that the Americans are important partners for us, the most important ones in the North Atlantic Alliance, and that we have a shared interest in Europe and America working together to end this conflict and then, for example, to end the conflict, the war in Ukraine, to provide joint security guarantees for Ukraine. We have already achieved a great deal together in this regard. We have a different view of this war. That is no secret. I am not alone in this. We have a common aim, and that aim must be Iran must not be allowed to acquire the atomic bomb, and that is what we are working together to achieve.
Donald Trump has announced that he will withdraw 5,000 or even more troops from Germany.
There is a contingent of American soldiers in Europe whom Joe Biden has stationed here on a temporary basis. There has been talk of their withdrawal for quite some time now. We also received a commitment from Joe Biden that we would receive Tomahawk missiles. Donald Trump has never repeated that. He has not yet given us that commitment. So not everything we've been hearing over the last few days is actually new. It may be being exaggerated a bit, but it's nothing new.
He has once again threatened to impose higher tariffs. A 25% tariff on vehicles from the EU to take effect as early as next week was actually supposed to be 15%. Do you get the feeling that Trump wants to target Germany in particular because we would be particularly hard hit?
He wants to address the whole of Europe. He is, quite frankly, rightly a little disappointed that we in the European Union have still not reached a conclusion regarding the Turnberry Agreement, which was concluded last year in August in Scotland. To this day, there is still resistance to this agreement within the European Parliament.
You can even understand him a little.
Well, I'd say is getting impatient because we reached an agreement with America last August to conclude a customs agreement. And on the European side, new conditions keep being put forward, and we haven't signed it. The Americans have finalized it, but the Europeans haven't. And that's why I hope we can reach an agreement here as quickly as possible.